Well, I mean, um, they were sort of people that we were.
But sorry, Bob, going back to it, you mentioned you're putting your hand up and saying, "Hey, I don't have time. I won't have the popular horse for long.
Very long. It'll buck me off.
So now is the time to build a coalition."
That is correct.
Right.
Whilst that horse will lead all the other horses. So we've got a short time frame here, but really, it relies very much on organisations such as your own.
Right.
It doesn't float otherwise. Santa Maria may have had more power than anyone else except Theodore and Chifley. And Santa Maria had a lot to do with the creation of Theodore. Mannix got Theodore to run the anti-conscription movement in Australia, and he gave the Prime Minister of Australia a terrible flogging twice. Theodore. But history books still to be written about just how much. But Menzies had lunch with Santa Maria every Thursday. They were very, very close. But he had a program on the television which was huge watching audience all over Australia. And he had a column in the Australian newspaper, and the column said that there were people in their 30s that were investing hundreds of millions of dollars of their investment monies and superannuation monies. And this is just not good. And when Big Bank in England blew up, their representative in Singapore, he hadn't invested hundreds of millions of dollars. He was 24 years of age and invested thousands of millions of dollars, which all blew out the window. Took down Barings Bank. I knew I can't remember, but it was one of the major banks in England. Went down the chute. But Santa Maria was wrong, because he said they were moving 200 million. They were moving 2,000 million. And I started reading avidly all of his columns and watching him on the listening radio and television, very avidly, because the bloke had perspicacity, he could see what. But that role needs to be taken up by people like yourself. And I ain't no Robert Menzies, so you.
No, I'm honoured. Look,
it's every week with me.
Bob, I respect my elders, and I respect the knowledge and the answers, and I am at the humble mercy of people like yourself that have been around the block, and you've seen what's happened and why it hasn't happened, and what we should be doing and why it's not being done. And look, I'm here to help. But again, I'm just a construction guy from the industry. We do have a large audience of, I think we're getting close to 700,000 followers online.
That's great.
Yeah, and when it comes to elections, we have about 1.5% of voters use our cards, our how to vote cards. They ask us to vote. We've got about 700 million views in the last 3 or 4 years. I think in last week we did something crazy, like 50 million views in a week, which was crazy. But all of this is for the purpose of, we need to get the pen that's writing the legislation. We need to recapture this country. I'm not interested in running. I think where we're going wrong is people don't know how to breathe their values into politics. They don't know how to actually get elected. They don't know how to deal with these bureaucrats that are running this country and these corporations that are bought off our politicians. And they have been bought off. I really do believe that our politicians are, in these major parties, it's a career path for them. It's not about service. We used to call them the Honourable XYZ. I'm happy to call you the Honourable Bob Katter, but these other politicians, I can't bring myself to it. They used to.
Yeah, but I
If I can just take 20 seconds of your time, I apologise for interrupting this clip. If you'd like to support Turning Point Australia and what we're doing to help keep the lights on and keep the work going moving forward, please check out our website at tpaust.com.au. We've got a range of merchandise, whether it's the Make Australia Great Again hat, whether it's the other shirts that we have, or the educational maps that we have. Please go and support. If you don't want to buy any merch, that's fine. You can also support us by buying us a coffee and becoming a regular subscriber for as little as $4 a month. I'll let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much.
I didn't aspire to politics, I mean,
Yeah.
because making my own fortune in mining, and as a sideline, I made a fortune in cattle.
Yeah.
And I love making money, and I found it really exciting taking all the risks and everything. And sort of replaced rugby league life.
Yeah.
But I was having real good fun out there until Whitlam got elected. And they asked me to stand down as secretary of the local country party, because I was completely uninterested and bored by the whole thing. So they stood me down from the local branch of the party. I don't know if I had any political aspirations, they're now finished. But what got me suddenly involved was Whitlam. And I wasn't Robinson Crusoe, famous speech by the leader of the Labor Party. Because there were 20 of us all spoke, in attacking Whitlam. I don't know what that legislation was in the state parliament. But I can't remember the Labor leader, but he said, there's just no gratitude in this world. We all burst out laughing because we all had our seats in Parliament to the giant swing against Whitlam. We'd all got elected on the giant swing.
Yeah.
The Labor Party was left with 6 seats in Queensland. A record only broken by Borbridge. There must have been 8 seats because Borbridge broke the record for the least number of seats. But the leader of the Labor Party said, there's just no gratitude in this world, and we all burst out laughing. As I say, we all owed our seats to it.
That's it. Yeah.
I went down to the library, to the National Art Gallery to look at blue poles.
Yeah.
And whoever I was with said, why are you so taken with this painting? I said, I owe so much to blue poles. It was the final COVID stuff. The Australian people couldn't understand.
Yeah.
Or they'd go into a shop and they needed $20 to buy a loaf of bread,
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's exaggerating, but inflation we hit 26% in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
1 month under Whitlam, it hit 26% and was scary. But people didn't understand that. But they understand spending $54 million on a piece of canvas that people had dropped paint on. They understood that. And they understood putting, $5 tax on coffins. How could that bring a government down?
Yeah.
Ordinary people understand that.
Yeah.
They don't understand when you start talking about inflation and all those things.
No.
But that arrogant fellow, again, I'm a terrible one for anecdotes. Des Frawley, that is the outrageous character, kicked me and said, now I can prove that I did not kick that dog because I'm holding a letter here. Write the letter.
Yeah.
What letter?
Yeah.
So I say again, Mr. Speaker, that person, I'm holding the letter from that person, the owner of the dog, that proof that I did not kick that. Anyway, but Frawley, who was speaking at the National Convention, Constitutional Convention, and I was sort of head of our delegation, even though I was pretty young, but Frawley was speaking, and Gough Whitlam, in his arrogance as Prime Minister, Mr. Frawley, please, he was attacking the Senate, Frawley. He said, I'm not, he said, you're trying to abolish the Senate, Gough. I make exceptions, Mr. Frawley, for people like yourself. I think that you should be in the upper house in Queensland And Frawley said, ha, there you go, Goff. You don't even know. We don't have enough hours in Queensland. Goff said, I know, Mr. Frawley, I know.
That's funny.
But Goff was good at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But Frawley turned around and he said, oh, he effed me that time, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's off his books, constitutional convention.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but they were all extremely popular people.
Yeah.
And how the party could have gone from those people to the Bobby Borbages of this world,
Yeah.
I simply don't know or understand. And I can tell you a number of stories.
Thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed this particular clip. If you want to support this show and keep the lights on and support everything we're doing at Turning Point Australia, please head to tpaust.com.au, where we've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got maps. And if you don't want to buy any merch, that's perfectly fine. If you want to just buy maybe a cup of coffee a month, for as little as $4 a month, you can help us get a small long black to actually support the show and actually keep things going. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you later.